Well, that was humiliating. The Washington Commanders just got demolished by the Dallas Cowboys 45-10 on Thanksgiving on national television. So we're going to break it all down in today's video, talking about Sam Howell, the bigger picture with Ron Rivera, Eric Bieniemy, and the coordinators and some other coaches in this front office. A lot to unpack in this video. If you guys are new, please subscribe, hit that like button, and that notification bell as well. It helps out a suffering Commanders fan. It takes a couple seconds. Also, check out BetUS, link in the description. Man, I don't even know where to start. Like 45-10. I'm not going to say I was surprised by this result, but I definitely wasn't predicting us to lose 45-10. I saw Rio had us losing like 55-10, so he basically got the exact score right. I mean, it was close for a lot of the game. I mean, the first quarter 7-0, and then at halftime we're losing 20-10, and then in the third quarter it was pretty close, and then the Cowboys just took advantage of this offense. And honestly, I know some people really like Eric Bieniemy, and at times I do, but like the play calling was very questionable. I mean, just consistently going shotgun, and yeah, I mean, 4th and 1, 3rd and 1. It's like, it's 3rd and 1. Run the ball because, you don't know if they're going to run or pass. You run on 3rd and 1, and you probably would have gotten it. And then on 4th and 1, they run it when they knew they were running it, and they lose that. And then and that could have been a touchdown if they scored that, or at least got a field goal on that drive. Like, it would have been a much closer game. And then they have to go for it later on, 4th and 1, another shotgun. And they give the ball back to the Dallas Cowboys, and they gift wrap them a touchdown there. They also have that pick six. How it was tough, man. The offensive line was not helping him out. This play calling was not helping him out. He had some good throws. He had some bad throws. Had that interception that was pretty bad, and that had another one. I forgot what the guy's name on the Cowboys was, but number 14 dropped an interception that probably would have been a pick six as well. And they also had a pass behind Curtis Samuel or two, but he had some good plays as well, extending some plays. Also had a couple rushes for 13 yards. So, how he wasn't amazing today. He wasn't the reason we lost the game for sure. Curtis Samuel was solid, 9 catches, 100 yards. Jahan was all right. Terry got targeted 11 times. He had 4 catches. I mean, he had a drop, and then, I thought he got held in one of them. It is what it is. It's been such a disappointing season, man. Like, it really has been. We're 4-8 right now, and we're in position to have a pretty good draft pick for the first time in a long time. We're going to have a top 10 draft pick. For sure, a top 10 draft pick. And depending on how the rest of the season goes, maybe even a top 6, top 5 draft pick. I mean, that's probably what it's going to be. That's what it's looking like. We'll talk about that a little bit more in the game. But yeah, just the defense wasn't great. I'll give them, obviously, you never want to give up 45 points. But again, 7 of those points were the pick six, and then some more points because of bad field position that the offense had with turnover on downs. The defense kept them in it, honestly, until the fourth quarter, and at that point the game was already lost. But Benjamin St-Juste was getting cooked by Brandon Cooks, by other players as well. Quan Martin was getting cooked. I mean, Cameron Curl was getting cooked. Everyone was getting cooked. Like, Kendall Fuller got cooked once, but I thought Kendall Fuller is probably the best player in this defense. Like, honestly, which is crazy to say. One of the older players in the defense is the best player in the defense. Jonathan Allen, Deron Payne, where were you guys? Non-existent. I did not see them. Like, let's look at where their names are on the stat sheet. Oh, 1 tackle for loss. 1 QB hit. Deron Payne, I guess he had 2 tackles for loss. I mean, they had a couple good plays in the run game. But, like, Dak Prescott was sitting back there and eating his turkey leg and then throwing a touchdown pass. I mean, he had all day. And for 2 guys that are getting paid $20+ million a year right now, I know Jonathan Allen's contract's a little bit less, but right now he's getting paid 20+. They should be playing much better. And for all the fans are saying Chase Young's the problem, Montez Sweat's the problem, well, this defensive line is terrible. Let's keep it real. Right now, they're playing terrible. And I know they had 9 sacks last week, but, I mean, a couple of those were from some linebackers, but also they had the 5th fewest pressures last week of any team. Tommy DeVito was walking into sacks. He was walking into sacks, and that's a big reason why the Commanders got a lot of sacks last week. And yeah, man, Jonathan Allen, Deron Payne have been extremely disappointing. Like, obviously, you would like to see KJ Henry or Casey Toole or one of those guys get a sack, but you're not expecting it. But from guys like Deron Payne and Jonathan Allen that you're paying a lot of money to, you're expecting them to have big plays. But yeah, it's disappointing. Cody Barton was back, had some pretty bad plays early on, especially in coverage. Going back to the offense, the offensive line was just getting beat all day. And it's like, okay, you kind of expect that. Against a really good defensive line, your offensive line is not good. You know what? You need to make adjustments. And honestly, you shouldn't even have to make adjustments because you should know that going into the game that your offensive line is going to get dominated. So maybe don't be out there in shotgun every single time. Every single time. That's what they were in. 4th and 1, 3rd and 1. Why are you doing that? Just hand the ball to Robinson, I formation, or whatever you want to do. But shotgun is not the move if you know you're running it, and doing it every time it's just not great. And Bieniemy definitely was bad today. 10 points. Back-to-back weeks. Just not a great game by Eric Bieniemy. It is what it is. Last week it wasn't terrible by Bieniemy, but this week was a big issue. Sorry, disregard my last statement on last week. But this week was not a great week by Eric Bieniemy. It wasn't a good week by Jack Del Rio either. They gave up 45 points, even with the pick six. Dak Prescott 22 for 32, 331, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. Tony Pollard averaging 6 yards a carry. Brandon Cooks was beating us. CeeDee Lamb, Jalen Tolbert. It didn't matter who. They all were eating. Look at it. Look at their receptions. They had Jalen Tolbert, 2 catches, 49 yards. Jake Ferguson, Kevontae Turpin, Jalen Brooks, Tony Pollard. All these guys cooked. 4 different guys scoring a touchdown. It's 5 different guys actually scoring a touchdown. It's just insane at this point. Ron Rivera, I do not want to see this man on on a sideline with the Commanders ever again. Is he going to? Yes, he's probably going to be here next week. Should he be here? No, he should be fired today. Before Thanksgiving is over, fire him. Fire him. And real quick, a word from today's sponsor.
BetUS, America's favorite sports book, where you can bet on everything anytime. Sportsbook, casino, horse racing, live betting, and more. We have the best bonuses in the industry. That's right, get a 125% sign-up bonus. And to celebrate our 30-year anniversary, we are giving up to 30 risk-free bets, a truck, Super Bowl tickets, and more. Don't miss out. Play smart. Join now. BetUS, where the game begins.
And make sure you guys check out BetUS. Link in the description. You get 125% first-time deposit match. There's some games you can bet on. You got the 49ers and Seattle Seahawks coming up in a little bit. And you got some college basketball as well. NC State versus Vanderbilt. So some really good games. Great deal. Link in the description. And as usual, bet responsibly. And yeah, man, going back to Ron Rivera, I need him gone. It's not even his coach. Obviously his coaching's terrible, but let's just look at the draft picks on the... Emmanuel Ford's not even on the field. He's hurt. And then you got Quan Martin getting cooked. Who else? Fedarian Mathis doing nothing. We drafted these guys in the 2nd round, man. I cannot believe we drafted those 2 guys. Those 2 guys in the 2nd round. And almost everyone thought it was horrible picks, especially the Fedarian Mathis one, but the Quan Martin one as well, because we were like, okay, you know what? We just drafted Emmanuel Forbes. Who, again, was not my preferred pick, and a lot of people thought Gonzalez or Banks would have been better. But besides the point, drafted DB. Let's go after maybe offensive line to help your young quarterback out. But no, we draft Quan Martin, and then who wasn't playing at all basically the first half of the year. And then Fedarian Mathis the year before hasn't done nothing. Nothing. And I'm sorry I'm a little bit mad, but it's not even the score that matters. I'm just upset about everything. That Ron Rivera is still the coach of my football team. It just sucks, man. It really does. But what I will say, obviously the rest of the season doesn't matter. In terms of we're not making the playoffs, obviously. Really, all that matters is Sam Howell, how he does the rest of the year. But what I do want to say is, don't be discouraged yet, because the post Dan Snyder era truly starts this offseason with a new head coach, a new general manager, really good draft picks, a lot of cap space. So don't be too discouraged. That's all I'll say, because again, we have really good draft capital, good hopefully good management and stuff like that. So don't get discouraged yet. If it's still, an issue in a couple years, you're not liking the guys we hired in a year, that's fine. But right now, just chill a little bit. Be upset with who's our head coach right now, but just understand it's going to change. But I know it's frustrating. I'm frustrated because we still have to sit back and watch these games. I mean, the Commanders have 5 more games this year. We're going to have to sit back on Sundays and watch this pathetic team play. I mean, this defense led by Jack Del Rio. There's offense led by Eric Bieniemy. I don't know. I don't really think we need Eric Bieniemy as our head coach. I mean, he still has 5 games to prove himself. He still has 5 games to prove that he can be a good coordinator in this league because, there's still a lot of time left for him because he's had some really good games and some really bad games on it. Sorry, I meant to say that he can be a good coordinator, maybe a good head coach in this league. He still has time to prove that. 5 more games. He's been really up and down this year. Like some great games, like some of those Eagles games, and a lot of those both those Eagles games are good, and then some bad games like the Bills, the Giants game today. Like it's just too inconsistent with Eric Bieniemy for me to feel good about him being my the Commanders head coach. That's just my opinion. Just a little bit too inconsistent for me. I know some people will disagree. I just want to look at the final score for last week. 19 points. The offense was not good enough last week also, but this is a whole organizational loss. It's not on just Bieniemy. It's also on Del Rio, and ultimately it's all on Rivera. He is the one who picked these coaches, who picked this front office, who picked these players, and we really we don't have any studs right now. We don't have any studs on this team. There's some players I still think are really good, but they haven't shown it this year. And honestly, there's really no players. I'm really excited to watch that player today. It sucks. It really sucks because, before the season, I was really excited to keep watching Terry McLaurin, to watch Jahan Dotson, to watch Chase Young, Montez Sweat, Deron Payne, Jonathan Allen, even Jamin Davis, Emmanuel Forbes, Cameron Curl. I'm not excited to see any of these guys. No one on this team makes me excited to watch them play. And that is unfortunate. I still think some of these players on this team are good and can be, blue chip type players, but it's gonna be a long rest of the season, especially if Rivera is our head coach. But we know Rivera's gone. I think we've known it for a while, ever since the Bears game. Really, ever since Dan Snyder, was gone. We knew Ron Rivera was going to be gone, but it's just been a long season, very disappointing, and we're going to have to listen to all these Ron Rivera press conferences, all of his excuses, and I'm just sick of it. I'm really sick of it. And, another Thanksgiving ruined by, Commanders, Redskins, Washington football team football. But, hey, it is what it is. I hope all you guys had a great Thanksgiving. And I honestly hope some of you guys didn't even watch the game and you're just watching this recap because, I'm sure the Thanksgiving dinner was way better than watching this team play. But, thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Again, I didn't talk a lot about the actual game because really what was there to talk about? We got our behinds kicked like we just really did. And, a lot of the other stuff I'll talk about this week. So thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and peace.